So maybe you're here today and you need to choose to forgive someone in your life. Again, I'm not saying trust them or be reconciled to them if they haven't changed. I'm just saying for your benefit, for your freedom, maybe you need to forgive someone. And God will help you do that because it's not easy. Or maybe you're here today and you need forgiveness and you've been carrying around this shame and guilt and regret. Maybe you've been carrying it around for decades for something that you did a long, long time ago that you regret. Jesus Christ provides that forgiveness for you through his death on the cross. So look at verse 24. So he hears the brothers have this conversation about their regret over how they treated Joseph in verse 24. And Joseph turned himself away from them and he wept. And then he returned to them again and talked with them, and he took Simeon from them and bound him before their eyes. When Joseph hears his brothers expressing their guilt and regret, he breaks down and cries. Now listen, you're a note taker. This is the first time we see Joseph cry. This is the first time we see Joseph weep. He didn't weep when they sold him into slavery. He didn't cry when they took him down to Egypt, or he was sold to Potiphar, or he was falsely accused, or thrown into prison when he was innocent. But he breaks down and weeps when he hears his family talking about what they did to him. Our family can bring out some of the deepest emotions, can it? Your family will make you cry, especially when there's broken relationships and seeing those people after a long absence. And verse 24 again, we're told at the end that he took Simeon from them and bound him before their eyes. Now Simeon was the second oldest. And in this conversation that the brothers had, Joseph learned that Reuben, the oldest brother, he tried to intervene on Joseph's behalf and prevent the brothers from doing Joseph any harm. And so Joseph chose the second-born. He chose Simeon to remain in Egypt while his brothers returned home to get Benjamin. So then Joseph gave a command, verse 25, to fill their sacks with grain, to restore every man's money to his sack, and to give them provisions for the journey. Thus he did for them. You see Joseph's heart here towards his family, his compassion, his mercy, his grace. So they loaded their donkeys with the grain and departed from there. But as one of them opened his sack to give his donkey feed at the encampment, he saw his money, and there it was in the mouth of his sack. So he said to his brothers, "My money has been restored, and there it is in my sack." Then their hearts failed them. Their hearts sank, and they were afraid, saying to one another, "What is this that God has done to us?" They're under such heavy guilt for what they did to Joseph that now they view everything as the judgment of God, right? They don't see it as a blessing. They don't say, "Praise the Lord. Where'd this money come from? God, you're too good. I can't believe it. We got great, and we got our money back. What an amazing story. I can't wait to tell everybody what you did." Oh, this is a judgment of God. This is a terrible thing. Once you reconcile to God through Jesus Christ, all the guilt is removed. And you can just rejoice in the Lord and enjoy God's blessings. You don't have to fear God. You can just rejoice in him. So then they went to Jacob their father in the land of Canaan and told him all that had happened to them, saying, "The man who is Lord of the land spoke roughly to us and took us for spies of the country. But we said to them, 'We're honest men. We are not spies. We are 12 brothers, sons of our father. One is no more, and the youngest is with our father this day in the land of Canaan.' Then the man, the Lord of the country, said to us, 'By this I will know that you are honest men. Leave one of your brothers here with me. Take food for the famine of your households and be gone. And bring your youngest brother to me, so I shall know that you are not spies, but that you are honest men. I will grant your brother to you, and you may trade in the land. Verse 35, then it happened as they emptied their sacks, that surprisingly each man's bundle of money was in his sack, and when they and their father saw the bundles of money, they were afraid. And Jacob their father said to them, you have bereaved me. Joseph is no more, Simeon is no more, and you want to take Benjamin? All these things are against me. All these things are against me. Joseph is in some ways more spiritual than his father, because you never saw Joseph say something like that. Joseph had a lot of occasions and a lot of hardship and difficulty in his life where he could have said, man, life is against me. Everything's going against me. But he never says that. And we see that with Jacob. All these things are against me. Well, then Reuben speaks up. Reuben's the oldest son, right? As the oldest son, he has responsibility to the family. So then Reuben spoke up to his father, verse 37, saying, kill my two sons. If I do not bring him back to you, put him in my hands, and I will bring him back to you. I wonder if Reuben's sons heard Dad say that. Whoa, wait a minute, Dad, what's that? Kill us? We didn't have anything to do with this. It's a gesture. It's a pretty dramatic gesture. You know what Reuben said as a dramatic gesture, God actually did. He offered his own son on the cross for us and for our salvation to rescue us. So then finally, verse 38, but he said, my son shall not go down with you, for his brother is dead and he is left alone. Benjamin's all I have left from my marriage to Rachel. If any calamity should befall him along the way in which you go, then you would bring down my gray hair with sorrow to the grave. If anything happens to Benjamin, I'd never get over it. What about Simeon? Jacob's just going to leave Simeon in an Egyptian prison. An incredibly difficult situation. And Jacob's not walking by faith. He's not trusting God. He's making his decisions emotionally. He's trying to protect himself from future pain. And what he doesn't realize is God is about to bless him beyond all of his imagination, as we'll see in the coming chapters.